Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a general reading for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Aries, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you are interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Aries, I hope that you're doing well. I'm going to be using two decks for your reading today. The first one is going to be from the Elemental Oracle by Stacey DeMarco, and I'm using a new deck to my channel, the Sci-Fi Tarot by Todd Alcott, who also designed the Great Pulp Tarot. So this is a brand new deck to my channel, so I'm excited to use it. It's been giving some really amazing messages so far. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Angels, spirits, guides, what messages do you have? Thank you for Aries. This is always such a beautiful card when it comes out. I've used this Elemental Oracle deck many, many times on my channel. And it's so painterly and ethereal. And you got the number 31 card, which corresponds to, or reduces to, a 4, corresponding to the Aries card of the Emperor in the Major Arcana. Aries, you showed up in your own reading. And the card is Lake Depth. Lake Depth. And we can see here, it's not just any lake scene. There is a castle or some kind of structure in the background that is surrounded by water. It's actually, water is coming up over the line of the castle. It's submerged in the water. And at first glance, you'd think, oh, it's like a moat. It's for protection, but what we realize is that something is being overcome. And maybe that has to do with your energy right now. Maybe you're feeling overcome, perhaps by emotion. The watery depths here, we can see this figure. It's almost as if she's she's got her legs tucked up, her arms extended, like she's jumped in. But it's all metaphorical, right? So it's like this, maybe you're taking a deep dive into some emotional state. And what I want to say is that perhaps you've been questioning the structures that you've built for yourself, the empire of the Emperor. Maybe you are questioning it, not to undermine it or anything, but just to reevaluate. Sometimes we have to kind of reassess. This is what people do, I feel, like every birthday or important anniversary that comes around. Because Spirit is showing me now I'm going to be celebrating an anniversary at my job. I will have been there 8 years in a couple months, which I didn't know that I would make it 5 years. I'll keep going until they don't want me anymore, but 8 years. And so every time, it's interesting too, because the anniversary at my job always falls on Valentine's Day. So then I always ask myself, you know, like, do I still, not to be totally corny, but it's like, do I still have a love affair with this place? And does this place still have a love affair with me? Which is very dramatic and over the top, but you get the gist, right? It's a reevaluation, a reconsideration. And so I feel as though maybe there's some emotional depth that you are entering into right now, having to do with the, oh, Spirit just said trappings. Take it as it resonates. It's an expression. The trappings of fill in the blank. The trappings of modern life and modern society. The trappings of money or whatever, status. I think there's this, thank you, Spirit. There's an up leveling here, but in order to move up, it's like you have to go into the depths of yourself. Not always the easiest thing to do, but it's where a lot of growth happens, when we're able to kind of look in the mirror of things, see things as they really are. I'm going to pull 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier, past, present, future, and maybe look at some advice from Spirit. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. I'm only taking uprights, no reversals. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Wow. There's the Emperor card. I know for a fact that I'm reading for the Aries Collective because the Emperor showed up, and how spectacular. This feels so much like an Aries reading, the other cards out here. 6 cards out on the table. Let's start with the past energy, the recent past energy. The 4 of Wands. Wands being the, thank you, Spirit. The 4 of Wands being a card of the fire element, which is your element. Wands represent action, catalyst energy, things in motion, things moving fast, decision making, a joyous celebration of homecoming. Isn't this just bizarre and amazing? Spirit is drawing my attention to all of the eyeballs. Right? You can think of the third eye, but I also see this, you know, there's like representations of angels. I don't know if it's the archangels or just angels in biblical context, or I don't know what context. I'm not totally certain of this, but Spirit is giving me the image of a biblically accurate depiction of angels. They have like a gazillion eyeballs. They have like a gazillion eyes. It's actually quite, to me, it feels very disconcerting. It's not the image of the angels with the wings and like the light surrounding them. That's how I choose to think about angels, but Spirit is saying, no. They have a lot of eyes so that they can, it's like this representation of being able to see in all directions. So there's something in your past energy where you were able to see the bigger picture, see in all directions, see things differently, see things with a different perspective, perhaps for the first time, as it has to do with your stability. 4 of Wands talks about stability. It's portal energy. It's also known as the 1111 card, or the card of twin flames. Take that as it resonates. But in this card especially, it feels like portal energy coming out of that spaceship door. Out of or into? 4 of Wands talks about, firm foundation, like the 4 legs of a table. This stability is very important and has been very important for you for a long time. So whatever revelation that was, a joyous celebration of homecoming, it was something that you came to a peace about. Like there was peace in your heart. And the reason I say that is because it's clarified by the Queen of Cups. She holds life in the palm of her hand. You can see that there. She holds life in the palm of her hand. Queen of Cups is Cancer energy. Talks about, she's divine feminine. So this is a very evolved aspect of the Cups suit, which is the water element. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but Cancer represented specifically. It's this idea that someone holds a cup of love and it overflows, and she has so much love to give that she starts giving to everyone. Her time, her love, her compassion, her empathy, and sometimes sympathy. You know, sympathy gets a bad rap, but sometimes sympathy is genuine. We can't, I don't think it's wise to disregard it completely. Empathy is it's more about connectedness, but sympathy is just trying to imagine and showing understanding without actually understanding. I think empathy comes a little bit closer to really feeling what somebody is going through. And I think the Queen of Cups in this respect is somebody who really appreciates not only what she has, but how she's able to give to others. And so there's something in your past energy, your recent past, where you perhaps experienced an overabundance of something. And so maybe you came into some resources and you decided, you know what, I got a really big bonus this year, and I'm going to share my bonus. I'm going to buy really nice gifts for my team or my family, or like whatever, because, or help my family pay something off. We see this all the time, right? We do see it in social media of, well, I'm thinking spirits showing me very specifically like athletes who become successful, and then they go back home and they end up paying off their parents' mortgages, or they buy them a new house or something because their parents supported them all the way. They're the parents that drove their kid to the games in different states and stayed up with them late at night to help them with their homework, and paid for them to go to camps and training camps and schools, and made sacrifices. And then that child comes back and repays it, not just with material world things, but with this gesture of love and generosity and gratefulness, experiencing that stability. Right? So another way, because Spirit is showing me this card, yes, the castle is submerged, but if we look at the water element as a metaphor for love, or as a representation or a symbol of love, the cup overfloweth. The cup is overflowing. So it could be, you know, it could be a situation where, okay, just because I have so many resources, I have to be smart about it. I didn't become the emperor because I wasn't smart about things. And this leads to the present energy, Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles, let's see, Secrets of the Pharaoh, Ancient Aliens, question mark, question mark. So whenever I see representations of Egypt, of course, I think of this divine wisdom, right? We still don't know who built the pyramids. We've been told many different things. We still don't know who built the pyramids, right? So, I mean, maybe it was them, who knows? But it's this ancient wisdom embedded in the walls and the history and the lore and the evidence, the artifact of things. Queen of Pentacles in this context represents not just abundance, because the Queen of Pentacles is abundant and is stable and is lush and is generous, but she's also wise, she's also practical, and she's not going to, one, she doesn't let anything rattle her. That's something that I've learned over time about my relationship to the Queen of Pentacles as a reader. She's cool as a cucumber. Like, she doesn't let anything shake her. And clarifying that with your card, number 4 of the Major Arcana, the Emperor, a power like unto a god. talk about dramatic, Aries. I mean, but look at what they're doing there. It's like this robot that like split the ship in half. This is a little unrelenting. But these two cards together are such a powerhouse. It's this mastery of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, which we have within us. If we can master the compassion and master the generosity and the ability to sit back a little bit with our ability to move forward and strike while the iron is hot and be inspired to do that, if we can temper both these sides of ourselves, we can manifest anything we want. We can make anything happen. We create our reality with energy like this. And this is something I feel like you up-leveled yourself to. Like it was, I don't feel like this just fell into your lap. Like at no point here do I feel like you just were bequeathed. I mean, you could have been, but I don't, for the majority, like I don't feel like whoever's watching this was just handed this situation. I feel like you worked for it. You drew upon the ancient wisdom within you, right? Because that also has to do with Akashic records. Spirit is showing me these karmic energies, past life energies, right? They affect who we are in this life. They affect our decision making, and this is very shrewd decision making. This is very measured. I almost said calculated, but I didn't want to, it didn't feel right to say calculated. It feels more correct to say measured. Powerhouse energies. This is you in the present moment. Like really, thank you, Spirit, really embodying your truest self. When we see the a signs card show up in a reading, it's like you're sitting fully within your power. It's quite spectacular, actually. The Emperor showing up for anybody is spectacular, but if it shows up for an Aries, even better. Can I get a clarifier for this present moment? What is it that Aries is really focused on right now? Six of Swords. Vera Star flees space station X-15 in search of answers. Six of Swords. Moving on, moving forward, moving away from things that no longer serve you. It's so interesting too, because you see how the Emperor here has these, sorry, I was like, well, I don't know why I got so close to the camera, but here we are. These two kind of halves of this plane. I see this as like one of the halves. Riding it like a space cowboy. Six of Swords talks about moving away from chaotic energy to calm energy. So I feel as though something in your life history is a thing of the past and is something that it's like you, because I see the space station kind of thing here. You've accomplished a lot, but now you're on to the next leg of the journey. And you're leaving this behind. Could be a project, could be a connection. It's time, you instinctively know that it's time for you to move forward, and you're not hesitating. As of right now. In the future potential, I see a little bit of hesitation. The Five of Pentacles. Lost, alone, and afraid. With worse to come. Okay, take it with a grain of salt, right? This is it's the sci-fi tarot, so it's going to be a little bit dramatic. And when you see the clarifying card, you'll feel better about it. But I don't necessarily see this as your energy. I see this as what you've left behind. Whoever this is, if this is a job, a person, a situation, they're having regrets. They're having regrets. The Five of Pentacles talks about alienation, isolation, fear of missing out, this yearning to be included. You're not having it, Aries. Because what clarifies this card is the natural born leader, the King of Wands. And I'll point out to you, see this in the background here? 2 different decks. You see this in the background here? Doesn't that so beautifully mirror one another? And look at what you're doing. After this kind of contemplation and this reevaluation, really searching your heart, right, in these watery depths, I really feel very strongly that with gusto and the passion that you are known for, and that all fire signs are known for, you really dug deep and came out stronger than ever. The King of Wands. King of Wands is closest to the Emperor card, right? So now twice in this reading, Spirit has shown me this leadership energy, this air of confidence of oneself. And I you know, too bad, so sad for this party. But you might hear about it. Somebody might come towards you and say, you know, can we, you know, even if it's a job, you know, please don't walk away from this. It's a great opportunity. What if we give you $15,000 more? Like, whatever. And you're just like, there's really nothing you can offer me that I haven't already built for myself. And you get a card of advice from Spirit. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Thank you, Spirit. 2 cards came out. Both swords, both of the thinking, the cerebral, the strategic mind. 7 of Swords and the 8 of Swords. So 7 and 8. Cards that come out in succession, very important, because now you have the 6, 7, and 8. Further emphasizing your up-leveling. 7 of Swords can talk about strategy. Let's see what it says. He stole weapons from the invaders, but was it justice? This is a card of strategy. And not trying to offend, not even trying to fight, but there is a little bit of this sense that I got to do what I got to do. I had to do what I had to do. I had to move on. And I had to, you know, I guess Spirit's showing me, like, if it's like a job situation, it's like I had to move on away from this chaotic situation. And I took not someone else's, I took my talent and my intellectual property with me. With the 8 of Swords here, left for dead in the barren mountains of Betelgeuse Prime. So dramatic. The 8 of Swords is all up in our heads. Anxiety. So this is Spirit's advice. It's almost like saying, if you're gonna do this, don't have any regrets. Do what you want, feel what you want. But Spirit's advice is just like, don't backpedal. Stick to your values, always for your highest good, and hopefully for the highest good of others too, right? Everything on the up and up. Everything on the up and up. But you're just taking the lead of your own life, and there might be the insecure side of you that comes through every once in a while, wondering, oh, should I have done that? Should I have walked away from that? Should I have left that? And Spirit is saying, after all of this contemplation and you making your decision to move, when you are in your highest version of yourself, don't have any regrets about that. Don't have any regrets about that, because in a way, when we can go into this contemplative state, this meditative state, that's when we're accessing our highest self. Your highest self will not lead you astray, because you're connecting to spirit. But when we're in this energy, we go after our dreams. Don't be afraid to push forward with whatever project, with whatever intention you want. Move towards your dreams. Move towards your manifestations. That's your reading, Aries. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Aries.